15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club.
Hart broke your stand-up box office record.
What record did he break?
He said he broke some record of your box office sales for stand-up.
I don't know. What he...
Seen your stuff on social media, boy, I know what you do, but you do it for play.
Eddie Murphy just broke his silence, and what he said has Kevin Hart shook. Kevin's been dodging Katt Williams for years, and now we know why. Murphy is backing Katt, and that changes everything. Let's break this down. Katt Williams has been throwing shade at Kevin forever, from calling him an industry plant to daring him to a face-off on stage, which Kevin never accepted. Now, Eddie Murphy's chiming in, and the tone ain't friendly. For the longest time, Eddie kept out of the mess. No beefs, no drama, just legend status. But when asked in a recent interview about Kevin supposedly breaking his stand-up box office record, Eddie didn't hold back. What record did he break? I don't know what he break. Then he reminded everybody that Raw is still the #1 box office comedy concert film of all time, and he hasn't even touched a stage in 27 years. Eddie even joked, "Now I gotta get back on stage because I want that record back, Kevin." Yeah, he smiled, but with Eddie, that smile hides fire. So what's all this got to do with Katt Williams? Everything. Because when a king like Eddie questions Kevin's crown, people start looking at him different. Kevin's whole image has been squeaky clean and brand safe for years. But when a real OG like Eddie starts poking holes in it, it makes folks start asking, how real is Kevin's rise? Katt's been saying it for years. He didn't just throw shade, he lit the whole house up. In interview after interview, Katt's claimed Kevin got special treatment. Not because he's the funniest, but because he plays the game. Quiet, safe, willing. Katt said, Kevin's an industry plant, protected and pushed to the front. Not for talent, but for staying quiet about what really goes on. Katt didn't stop there. He said that for 5 whole years, every big movie Kevin got, Katt had it first, but only if he agreed to play parts he wasn't down with, roles that were either too clownish or crossed a line for him. When he said no, the script landed on Kevin's desk. That's wild. Now you throw in Eddie Murphy, straight up saying Kevin's record never even happened, and suddenly Kevin's career starts looking shaky. Like it's built on connections, timing, and silence. Maybe that's why Kevin stays dodging Katt. It ain't fear of the man, it's fear of the truth he knows. Katt's been in the rooms. He's seen the deals. He's turned down what Kevin might have said yes to. This ain't just about numbers or ticket sales, it's about credibility. And in Hollywood, that's everything. And Eddie, he ain't just talking numbers, he's questioning what Kevin's built his image on. When someone like Eddie speaks, people listen. And they start asking the hard stuff, like, how did Kevin really blow up so fast? Who helped him? What went down behind closed doors? And that brings us to a party in Vegas, back in 2010. One Kevin hosted for Diddy. Not just attended, hosted. I didn't have to do it. I definitely didn't have to at the time, Kevin once said about it. At the time, it looked like a typical celeb bash. But now, years later, footage from that night is making people look twice. And it's not a good look. In one clip, Kevin's chilling in a cramped bathroom with a group of bikini-clad women. The lights are low, candles lit, vibe, pure chaos. Then, boom! One of the women's hair catches fire. Kevin just laughs. No concern, no reaction, just laughs and vibes. It's all on camera. Then there's another clip where Kevin warns a camera crew to not film a certain area of the party, where Diddy is sitting. He doesn't say why, but the camera catches a glimpse anyway. And that small moment sparked big questions online. People want to know, why was Kevin deflecting attention from that part of the room? What was really going down? It's not about blaming him for anything illegal, it's about who was there and how comfortable Kevin looked. He wasn't just some random, he was the host, laughing, relaxed, keeping the vibe going, even when it got messy. Why is that relevant now? Because in 2024, federal investigators accused Diddy of running what they called freak-offs, private, exclusive parties with allegations of drugs, exploitation, and more. Multiple lawsuits and testimonies say these events were way darker than anyone knew. Kevin Hart has not been accused of anything illegal, but he was there, on camera, hosting. And when he got asked about it by paparazzi, he didn't deny, he didn't explain, he just dodged. And in the court of public opinion, silence speaks loud. When you're in the footage and you've got nothing to say, people catches on, does he say something? It's not bad luck, it's a strategy. A pattern of reacting late and trying to spin the story instead of owning it from the jump? What's worse? He keeps putting himself in the middle of messy circles. hanging out with power players like Diddy, who's now facing major accusations about what went on at his secretive parties and behind closed doors. Let's make this clear. Kevin hasn't been charged with anything, but his name? It keeps popping up in conversations about silence, protection, and staying close to people with real power. That's not about guilt. It's about choices. Who he rolled with, when he kept quiet, and how carefully he crafted a public image while avoiding the heat. And then came Katt Williams in 2024, pulling no punches. In his sit-down on Club Shay Shay, Katt dropped a whole expose on the comedy game, and Kevin Hart was front and center. Katt's main beef? How fast Kevin got put on. No long grind, no years in the trenches, just boom, superstar. Katt called out the timeline. He said, while most comics hustle for years in little clubs, city after city, Kevin somehow skipped all that. Katt questioned the version of Kevin's story told in his Netflix doc with Chris Rock. It painted Kevin as a gritty East Coast comic, but Katt said, hold up, how was he grinding on the East while also moving in LA? So how simultaneously was he here in Los Angeles doing the same thing? Katt asked. It didn't happen. And then Katt dropped the real word, plant. Not a joke, a serious accusation. In Katt's eyes, Kevin didn't rise up, he got placed. The roles, the money, the access, it looked too smooth, too set up. That kind of boost doesn't happen by accident. Kevin's answered that type of talk before. In 2014 on Oprah Prime, he said Hollywood just makes success look overnight. I've had 18 years in the business, he said. I got dues that have been paid and paid again, and paid one more time after that. He said he studied the greats like Eddie Murphy and Chris Rock, learning from their wins and losses. His house was covered in photos of comedy legends, his daily fuel. My drive is other people's success, he told Oprah. But that's not what Katt was arguing. He wasn't denying Kevin's effort, he was saying, who let Kevin skip the line? Katt kept the fire coming. He said this wasn't just about Kevin, it was about how Hollywood really works. The system's got gatekeepers, and Kevin? According to Katt, he became one of them. To prove it, Katt brought up Kevin's close connection to Tiffany Haddish. Now, everybody knows Tiffany from Girls Trip and Saturday Night Live, but her journey wasn't easy. She's spoken openly about being homeless, living in her car, just trying to survive. In a 2018 Vanity Fair interview, Tiffany said Kevin gave her $300 when he found out she was sleeping in her car, told her to get a hotel, sit down, write out her goals, and follow a plan. She did just that, and little by little, she started checking off every box. Sounds like a beautiful story, right? But Katt wasn't buying the fairy tale. In a fiery appearance on V103's Frank and Wanda in the Morning, Katt went all in. He asked, is Tiffany Haddish really one of the top comics? She's been doing comedy since she was 16, he said. But you can't tell me your favorite Tiffany Haddish joke. Why? Because she hasn't done a tour yet. She hasn't done a special. He didn't stop there.